Another exciting season is coming to a close, and this was one for the books. We saw titles defended.
Brittany goes back-to-back in the Bahamas. Cue the foam.
Fan favorites make comebacks.
The HSBC Women's World Champion, Michelle Wie.
Happy birthday, Lydia Ko. A champion again.
And two sets of sisters take the tour by storm.
Jessica Korda.
Nelly Korda.
Area Jutanagarn.
For the first time, it's Moria.
A truly unpredictable season, filled with first-time major winners.
Pernilla Lindbergh is a winner, and it's a major championship.
Georgia Hall has won the Rico Women's British Open on home soil.
Angela Stanford at long last.
First-time tour winners.
Annie Park.
Marina Alex.
Nessa Hataoka.
Tadapa Sawanakpura.
And rookies on the rise.
Jin Young Ko is the champion.
All of the heartbreaking,
Oh my gosh.
heart-pumping,
How about in?
and heart-stopping moments
Tremendous.
Hyun Park.
have brought us to this. The season-long race has reached its peak, and this is the finish line, where the best of the best have an opportunity to play for a title they've been working toward all year. Expectations are high, and the stakes even higher. Here in Naples, where one season comes down to 1 week, and the Queen of 2018 will finally emerge. And we welcome you to sunny Florida, the Southwest Coast, and the city of Naples. Once again, the site for the CME Group Tour Championship. Tiburon Golf Club here, season-ending event. There have been 31 events. This is number 32 with $1 million bonus on the line for the overall winner. A little bit of breeze, but beautiful conditions as the top names have taken hold. Americans doing well so far. Brittany Lincecum is right there. And you've got some players who had terrific seasons. Nasa Hataoka. Lexi Thompson looking for her first win of the season. She's had 5 straight years with a win. Comes down to this week if she's going to make it 6. Terry Gannon along with the Hall of Famer Judy Rankin in the booth. Tom Abbott, Jerry Foltz, Karen Stupples on the golf course, Lisa Cornwell, to talk to some of the players when they are done. If you thought it was nice yesterday out here, it is even nicer. Cool front, not a cold front, moving through overnight, 70 degrees and a breeze of about 12 miles per hour. So it's a bit of a factor, but not about the same as it was yesterday. Out to the tee at 8. Brittany Lincecum with the lead, double figures at 10 under par. Jerry Foltz is out there.
And that was a 9-iron for Brittany that had a good line from the get-go.
Playing some great golf. It started the season with a win, Jude, at the Pure Silk Bahamas. Would love to make it bookend wins. To the 9th, and Tom Abbott.
Lexi Thompson on the tee.
And that's just a 3-wood. And is now her draw that she likes to be playing. And that moved about 5 yards to the left. And that's pretty perfect.
Karen Stupples out following this 3-ball. Head to the 16th.
Area Jutanagarn came in number 1 on the overall list. With a win this week, she guarantees herself a victory overall. Can win it without winning the tournament.
Par 3, 164 yards at 16. Hole tucked on the left side today.
She hadn't been quite as sharp the first day and a half to 11.
Charlie Hull making a nice run today. Huh? Something wasn't quite right there for Charlie. Of course, she has great memories of Tiburon. Won here 2 years ago. Back over to 8.
Lincecum for birdie.
A little bit downhill, but back into the gentle breeze. Very smooth stroke. Good thing to keep an eye on. If that backstroke gets a little quick, she tends to struggle with her putting. But when it's smooth like that, she can make plenty.
Yeah, that kind of matches up with her golf swing, doesn't it, Jerry?
Exactly, like so many players. Loved what she had to say yesterday about getting back to her 10-year-old self after having been around a couple of young ladies this week in Pro-Am events, and it reminded her of how she played her rookie season.
Okay, par for Charlie Hull. Charlie 4 under for the day, had 3 birdies in a row from the 5th. 1 drop shot today, bogey the 4th hole. Inside the top 5 at 7 under. As we take a look at the leaderboard, the color gold there indicating that Nasa Hataoka currently projected first in the race to the CME Globe, and that is important. Of course, $1 million check on the line for the winner at the end of the week, but we will be seeing some changes, no doubt, as we continue on over the next 3 days. Back out to 8.
Amy Olsen, terrific 63 yesterday. How many putts like that did she roll in?
Well, that was a beauty right there, even though it did not go in.
Career low in the opening round, and it comes on the heels of really some struggles for her. I mean, she had a whole streak where last 8 rounds coming in, she was collectively 20 over par, and then found something. So that final group, Amy Olsen, Brittany Lincecum, and Masahata Oka. They repaired after yesterday. They played together yesterday according to their rank in the CME Globe. And they head to the next tee. Brittany Lincecum with a 1-shot lead over Amy Olsen. Lexi Thompson's right there. Americans doing very well. Trying to count them up here. 6 of the top 8 spots. You got some ties right there, but they're right in the mix. Marina Alex, who got into the winner's circle earlier this year, so a big breakthrough for her, and she's at 7 under and 3 off the lead of Brittany Lincecum under blue skies here in Naples on day 2. Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour proudly present the culmination of the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Tiburon Golf Club in Naples, Florida, it's second round coverage of the CME Group Tour Championship. Beautiful part of Florida, about 4 miles from the Gulf of Mexico. A little bit of breeze off the Gulf today, and Naples looking good under the sun. Current standings in that overall race. So Ariya Jutanugarn came in number 1. She's now number 2. Masahata Oka broke through with a few wins this year. Number 1, Brooke Henderson down there. She was number 3. So you get some moving around of the parts. Sunghyun Park came in 5th. Top 5 coming in. If they get a win, they are the overall champion. Thrilled to have you along here. Our coverage on day 2. Beautiful conditions out there. Great scores day 1. And Judy, look at this as the season-ending event. And $1 million, the bonus on the line. How different is this event than any other tournament?
I think what has happened now after a period of years is players have settled into the fact that they have a season-ending event that is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it just really is. Everything about this is so first class, including the prizes. And they're only going to grow for next year. But players are working all year to get into this limited field, to earn the points to be here this week. You asked me yesterday, is there any pressure? You know, there are 5 players here who could win this and walk away with that extra $1 million, no matter what. I do not think you can be one of those players and not be aware of that and have it not make you feel a little bit different when you play. This is a big event, and it has become much like a major championship at the end of the season.
Having said that, the trick is to play like it's not, perhaps, or at least not feel that pressure. Brittany Lincecum talking about that. She's had 8 wins, a couple of major championships. So she's been there and done that, but she's playing loose golf right now.
She's playing really good golf. She's happy her life's in a great place. She lives just up the road. I think that is an advantage to her. A lot of players are in Florida, but she is right in this area, and I think she couldn't feel more at home.
Trying to win the last event of the year. She won the first event of the year. How about Lexi Thompson? It hasn't been her year. She's gone through a lot of adversity, and this is her last chance to get a win.
Yeah, and she would very much like to do that. You know, she was hurt pretty badly here last year with a missed putt on the final hole. But she's had a real emotional year. There have been a lot of things going on with Lexi that she says are unrelated to playing golf. But I think we all know that this golf life and this golf career can be an overwhelming thing, and particularly when you're in the spotlight the way she is.
Been in the spotlight since she was, what, 12 years old,
Yes.
something like that?
Yes.
She said yesterday, golf is just a game. So trying to take that mindset, at least. And here she is out at the 9th and her 2nd. Pretty precise at this point in the round. And it's going to get away a little bit.
Yeah, it's not bad though. She has a little advantage in her ability to spin the ball because the ball is not stopping easily on these very quick greens.
Now the breeze playing a little more of a role today than it did yesterday. Jutanagarn on the green here for birdie at 16.
Ever so slightly back uphill all the way.
Some kind of year for Area. Last night at the Rolex Awards, she's wrapping up just about everything. A few more still out there to get, but she's in the running for those too. Charlie Hall on the tee at 12.
That's a 7-iron in the air.
Good.
She's got a pretty snappy tempo, and she hits the ball a long way.
Snappy tempo, personality,
Yeah,
everything. That's a good way to
everything.
describe her. You know where she stands.
Oh, this is not good for Lindy Duncan. Look at that lie. Coupled with the fact there's a big lip there.
She doesn't appear to be going at the flagstick. I think it could have been done, but the ball was buried, and that made it twice as hard. Maybe had she not hit quite so far behind the ball. You've got to have a little speed when you go after a shot like that, but being buried made it twice as difficult.
Apologize for that little technical error there. Lindy coming out of the bunker once again as we look down on Tiburon Golf Club. 36 holes here. And we'll go back to the 8th.
Megan King from off the green. Got the sprinkler heads there and some kind of lofted.
This is her second 9 holes today. And Megan King is 5 under par for the day. Good shot.
Now Lexi Thompson at the 9th for birdie, Karen.
And it's not an easy one. It's going to be all uphill, and it's going to have one of those bit of a double breaker to it. It wants to break right at first and then come back towards the hole. I think just one of those ones that you want to cozy up close.
Just update us, Karen, on where Lindy Duncan's 4th shot finished up.
Her 4th shot finished up about 6 feet away from the hole, maybe 7 feet. So she'll have a good chance to go.
Should be a par for Lexi, who's chasing that first win of the season.
So underway, Tom, here, day 2. And a lot of golf yet to be played. Today and 2 more days for that overall race and the tournament. $500,000 for the tournament, too. So it's not just the $1 million bonus. Lincecum with the 1-shot lead. 3 Americans atop the leaderboard there. Sigans has been playing some good golf. There's Lydia Ko, who started 10th and now is in 15th. Just getting things started. Still to come, our Tom Abbott provides an in-depth scientific explanation. Wow, the race to the CME Globe. Look forward to that. And we'll hear from Brittany Lincecum in her attempt to bookend the season with wins. And last night, the LPGA honored its own at the Rolex Awards dinner. Fancy. You'll want to check it out. Stay with us. Okay. Today's coverage is brought to you by CME Group, how the world advances. By Win Grips, the best grips in golf. And by Prudential, official financial services provider of the LPGA.
Out at the 9th, Lindy Duncan for a bogey.
And this would be just a tremendous way to recover, don't you think?
Yeah, those steep faces of the bunkers really catch players out. It's a feature here at Tiburon. You're just not really expecting it in this part of the. If you were playing links golf back in the UK, you would think, well, it's just one of those things. But here, it comes out of nowhere. Now, Amy Olsen, her second.
From 173, a little bit of breeze helping. That was a 6 iron. Line was good.
Oh, just carried that steep face we were talking about. And now she's got a good chance for a birdie. Get to 10 under par. Challenging Brittany Lincecum, who's leading here at Tiburon. This is her second.
3-wood off the tee for Brittany and 30 yards in front of Amy Olsen's driver. This 143 and a 9 iron. Doesn't need to be a big one. Bringing it in very low, but it was solidly struck.
It's a hard green to hold down.
And the greens firmer than they were yesterday from what we've seen so far. Of course, we had the rain yesterday early.
Brittany agrees with you, Jude. Tough greens to hold.
They are. And when a player like Brittany Lincecum with a short iron in her hand can't spin the ball.
Charlie Hull here at 12, getting a read in a number of different ways. Old school and new school.
She is left hand low with that very straight left arm.
Maybe new school disagreed with old school. Golf Course Superintendents Association of America. We check out our course setup. Golf course that's been around since the late 90s. Greg Norman, the designer, R72, just over 6,500 yards. Look at the green speed too, 12.
Yeah, it's in such terrific condition. The players have just raved about this golf course. It's really hard to get a bad lie. There is no rough here. There's plenty of trouble outside of the fairways, though.
Which brings that trouble into play even more so with no rough. Yulu, lengthy one here at 10.
Short par 4. A hole where you would expect to be in sort of that 10 or 15 foot circle around the hole. She's working to 2-putt.
Young player turned 23 yesterday from China. Went to Duke. And out here in her first year on the LPGA Tour. Back to back there. Trouble spots. So out 2 over. Tournament debut for her to 13.
Danielle Kang, a winner during the Asian swing. This for a birdie. Her second victory on the LPGA Tour. She broke through and won the KPMG Women's PGA last season.
And then, Tom, she almost had a really frustrating season, you know, trying to back that up, or since that big win until this win just recently. So I think we're seeing a new Danielle Kang.
Benarat Tenepobuniras. That was for birdie to get it to 6 under. Just looking at the scores today, a little bit more difficult scoring average. I know it's early, but it was sub 71 yesterday, 70.68. And you had 4 rounds of 65 or better, which we hadn't seen in a while here at this event.
I think you've got a few pretty difficult hole locations today.
There you go. Just mentioned that. 2014 through 17 rounds at 65 or better in the opening round. 0 and 4 yesterday. Yeah, hole locations and the breeze maybe a little bit similar to yesterday, but maybe a little bit more of a factor.
Rain overnight before Thursday morning's golf started, and it softened the course and really helped scoring.
Exactly. Carlota Saganda on the tee at 10.
After coming off a nice birdie at the 9th, does like to hit a fade, but this one heading down the right, and that's not going to leave her a very easy shot.
Yeah, and the hints are down. That's perfect.
In there somewhere.
Waist area, I think that's where the ball came to rest.
Charlie Hull with the driver. Hands a long way forward there, Judy.
Hands a long way forward, and she's really got her left foot fanned out. We'll see that again and talk about it.
That's going to be just fine. Fairways are pretty wide here, as Judy was talking about. No rough. If you miss the fairways, you go into the coquina shells or worse.
Iron for Lexi off the tee at 10.
Yeah, and this hole being so short, that's all she needs. Lexi moves it the opposite way to Carlos, so she started this one down the right side and drew it nicely to the fairway.
No advantage in taking the driver, Karen?
I don't think so. I think it would put them too close to the hole. Plus, there's a bunker that would come into play, and you could run through the fairway quite easily.
Back to the 9th, Amy Olsen coming to the turn. This for birdie.
Yeah, pretty good look here, but it's uphill most of the way until right at the hole. The grain changes. Didn't get by too much, but another good putt. Didn't quite drop.
Seeking advice from major champions like Betsy King and Dave Stockton after the loss in Evian, trying to give some perspective and get a sense of what other players have gone through in their careers. I mean, she double bogeyed the final hole of a major to give it away. It's tough to get over.
To save par barely. Curled one in. Even-handed scorecard after the 2 bogeys, so 2 under and 8 off the lead. Doesn't guarantee anything here having the 36-hole lead in terms of history at least, but certainly you want to be around at top of the leaderboard. Lincecum, Olsen, Thompson, the 3 players at the top. Nasa Hataoka right now #1 overall in the race to the CME Globe and the $1 million bonus. Lydia Ko won it the first couple of years, and you forget it because of the trouble at 18, but it was Lexi Thompson who won the race last year. Golf taking place here in Florida, but also Sea Island Golf Club, St. Simons Island, Georgia. RSM Classic 3rd round coming your way tomorrow. It's underway at 1 o'clock Eastern time. PGA Tour, that last event before the break. They pick it up again the new year. Out to the 9th.
And here is the current leader, Brittany Lincecum, for a birdie.
Had a really long wait before she got a chance to hit this putt. Nasa Hataoka had a ruling by the grandstands behind the green, but she did get a line from her chip, and this should be moving right.
Oh, that looked in all the way. 11 under par, 3 birdies on that front 9. Looking very comfortable, very happy.
Saganda, this is where that tee shot ended up. It was short of that waist area.
Could have been a whole lot worse too. She hit some trees, fell down, and because she hits a fade, she's actually got a decent chance at getting close to the flag. But this from 174.
Yeah, that's a long way in on what is just a 320-yard hole, but pretty good result. She's safe.
This was where Nasa Hataoka finished up this for par.
Yeah, ran the pitch from over the green well past to here. Lengthy par putt.
Well, we'll see if that makes a difference in the projected standings. A drop shot for Nasa, so she's going to fall back into a tie for 6th. And that's back-to-back bogeys. Starting to see that down payment on the house diminish. She said she would use the $1 million to buy a new property. Now Charlie Hull, second shot at 13.
So that position with the left foot fanned and the hands forward works really well on that short shot with a little 3/4 wedge, but it's a little bit awkward with your tee shot.
We'll go to the 10th.
And the second for Lexi Thompson.
She has 118, so it's going to be a bit of a tweener in terms of numbers for her. Flag pretty close to the back of the green. She's played this one down a little bit, hoping for a bit of a hop forward.
Got half of it right. But a chance. Brothers on the bag this week.
Jessica Corder's second to the 13th.
You see the tall players, you see the really high ball hitters are handling the greens a lot better than somebody with a lower ball flight.
You're at 14, Marina Alex. This for birdie to get it to 8 under. Really good win for her. We were there to watch it, Jude. Player who broke through.
Yeah, it's interesting when a player has become a fixture on the tour, a player who has earned a decent living for a long time, but just can't get into that winner's circle. And when they finally do, how it just changes everything.
6 years out on tour, broke through at the Cambia Portland earlier this season.
And she has put herself in a really good position here this week.
28-year-old from New Jersey, now down here in Florida. Went to Vanderbilt. And a number of good finishes this year, too. Not just the win, but 5 top 5s.
Yeah, I think she felt it coming. There's no doubt. And she earned it for sure.
Back here at 10. All 3 on the surface. Gunda just on the edge. Carlota, by the way, the last player in the standings with a chance coming in the overall race to win the bonus. She comes in at number 12.
And Terry Judy, she's a player that has been sort of trending in terms of form. When you think about, when you look at the results that she's put in over Asia, every time she's teed it up, she's got slowly better and better as the tournaments have gone on. So she's trending in the right direction.
Hold up, please. Hold up.
Try to stop the traffic there, at least for 30 seconds or so. Yeah, she's coming off back-to-back top 5. 3 straight top 10s. That Asian swing.
And I really think that if there's an area of her game that might be slightly lacking, it would be this club right here. I think there's no doubt that when she gets on a roll with it, she seems to make everything she looks at. But it takes her a while to find that sort of happy place with the putter.
Good speed. Five off the lead right now. As she does that, we tell you time for our Leaders Cosmetics Top 10s leaderboard. Who do you think, Jude? Gave it away. It wasn't even close. 16 of them picked up the bonus for that. So area, I mean, it's been that kind of season. 3 wins plus in the mix all the time.
You know, it's partly you play really well and you're right there, but you don't win. But some of it is maybe you don't play really well, but you keep fighting, and come Sunday you play a good round and you're there again.
Yep. As they play the 10th, let's take a closer look right now from the tee, Judy.
This is a short par 4. It's really a good hole. It wouldn't take but maybe one tee that it would be a drivable par 4 for a lot of players. But something shorter off the tee, you've got to avoid that bunker on the left. And it's an interesting green with a big fall off to the left side. In fact, that fall off is not far from where the hole is located today, and you can just lose it off the left edge of the green really quickly.
And traffic on 2 sides, hence the noise around the green. Lincecum away at 10. And laughing before she even completed the swing.
I think that was a little bullet. I'm not sure. It looked like it.
It was. Up on the green, Lexi Thompson taking a look at birdie try coming up.
And she had a pretty decent look from Lindy's putt. Lindy had a really good putt that just grazed by the left edge of the hole on a pretty similar line. And I think that's one of the crucial keys to putting this course is actually paying attention to what the ball does around the hole, because so often here a ball looks like it's going to fall into the hole, but it actually just falls off at the last moment. I would say that in terms of atmosphere out here too, Judy, Lexi has been given the most fantastic reception, you know, on every green that she's got to, and you can really feel the crowd support for her.
Well, no doubt the pain she felt when she missed the short putt here last year, a lot of people felt for her. Good putt.
Deserved better.
But they've also seen her play here with the men several years now, and I think she's got a big fan base right here in the Naples area.
And you mentioned that putt. I know people remember that. She certainly does. But she won the overall race, and Ariya Jutanugarn went and got it. I mean, that birdie putt at 18. Didn't she birdie the last 2 as well? I mean, she pressed her right to the end, and wasn't like she just backed into it. Boy, that thing was halfway down.
Okay.
I think the putter in Lexi's hand is part of her pressure and emotion playing golf. You know, as a kid at home and playing with her brothers and all that, they say she used to make everything, but it has gotten in her head a little bit, and she has to whip it.
Charlie Hull for a birdie at 13 to get to 8 under par. It's just going to stay low. It's a busy season for Charlie Hull and Georgia Hall, both living in England. They don't have bases in the United States, so it's back and forth across the Atlantic constantly, and then over to Asia as well. There's a lot of travel for those two. So we watch Megan Kang finishing up her round at the 9th. She's had a good day today, 5 under par. Started tied for 35th, so she was just on the wave of players starting on the 10th. She was in the first game out from the 10th tee and has played her way almost into the top 5.
But we just saw Lincecum make.
She had a good week in Taiwan, finished tied 4th at the Swinging Skirts. She was 5th at the Portland Classic, so good second half of the year. Saganda tight down the left side at 11.
It's faded back to the fairway though, Tom. Might run out into that bunker.
I think it's going to be okay.
Okay. I think this was more of a shoot coming out of the off the tee at the 11th before the hurricane. What, a year and a half ago?
Yeah, September.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, September last year.
Second in the fairway for Amy Olsen at 10.
132 yards away. She spoke yesterday about having perfect numbers, as the players say, when she'd tell her brother Nathan caddying for her, it's a perfect 5 or a perfect 8. This isn't a perfect number. She hit 8 irons. She was between 8 and 9 and hit a real easy one, which is going to take some spin off it.
Hole high.
Yeah.
Here's Lexi at the 11th with driver.
And a much nicer shaped hole for Lexi than Carlotta. Lexi could start this down the right and draw it, but that's pretty straight.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, Karen. Lexi's been trying to work the ball from right to left, feels more comfortable doing that rather than trying to hit it straight when her misses were both left and right. Taking a side of the golf course out of play if she's drawing the ball.
After that low runner off the tee, the second for Lincecum now.
122 yards. Signal me gap wedge. And she can bring this in low and skip it back there, which is what she typically does.
Jerry, is she the only actual player who signals you her clubs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Before they play. Some do it afterwards if they hit a good shot.
That's I love watching her play. Yeah. Enjoying the play as well from high above, and Lincecum a 2-shot lead.
My goal this year is not on winning at all. My goal this year is like I want to have good attitude like every tournament I play. I want to feel free on the course and I want to have a good self-talk, and I think I did a pretty good job. I reached my goal. Before I won my first time, I just one award in my life I want to win is like Player of the Year. And after I won, I always told myself one time is enough. So I never think about, win it second time. This time it means so much to me because like I didn't focus on that. The only thing I focus is like work hard and I achieve it. It's just like present in my life.
Erya Jutanagan with her third to the 17th. And there's a firm bounce with a short club.
Yeah, but once again, right downwind.
And that is still rolling. Look at it, heading towards the pine straw. Not sure it's going to get all the way down there, but it's going to be a tricky shot now.
Well, the slopes off the greens are not shaved, but they are very tight fairway grass.
See some long ones go in for Brittany here. She is at 10.
Yeah, a little gently uphill. Not a lot of break in it.
No chance. How about area? Bit of an understatement. I think I did a pretty good job with the year that she had. So that was a moment ago. Hataoka, nope, no chance either.
Yeah, that one didn't scare it.
Yeah, she could have learned a little bit, but she didn't see it.
That looked like a dead pull, and you don't see that often.
Look at the difference. The opening round and today for Hataoka. 11.
Second shot for Lexi Thompson at the 11th.
She has 137 to the hole. Ball is slightly above her feet. A little bit of wind to her is what I'm feeling down here. The wind is.
Just looking at that flag, it seems to be a little variable there, Karen.
It is, and I think that's why she's kind of backed off just a little bit. It's like around these trees and around these few holes in this corner, the wind wants to swirl quite a bit, and you really have to be committed. There is only 6 yards between the edge of that bunker and the flag.
Leaning like it's going right. Oh, just enough. So she's going to have another chance for a birdie. She will play the QBE shootout once again this year, which is going to be played at the beginning of December, 5th through the 9th, I believe. And she's going to play with Tony Finau.
Here at 10, Amy Olsen taking a look. Yesterday, her opening 9 holes, 5 under. She had 11 putts. Today, even par and 15 putts.
Turning just a little left. Great quick routine. The closer they get, the harder you try, the more you feel snake bit on a putt like that.
Now area from just right of the green at 17. We talked about how difficult it is to get close. Her short game's been really, really good this year. One of the reasons she is in the position she's in today. And that wasn't a bad shot, but she's still got a bit of work to do. Over to 11, Segunda's second.
Just a couple of yards shorter than Lexi at 135. Slightly better angle, more from the left, hitting out towards the flag on the right. And that was pretty safe. But again, she was a little indecisive with that wind, had to back off it a couple of times.
She hits the ball pretty low, Segunda, so it's usually a good trait in the wind.
Hataoka for par. A little cleanup there. Much different day today for her, though.
She's a player that came on the tour and sort of made a mess of things. Got her card back, and what a year she has had.
Flag not moving right here at 14, and the third coming up, par 5 for Charlie Hull.
Huh? A little bit of wind into it. Yeah.
4.
So you need absolutely all of it.
Huh?
I think you're more like 3/4.
Okay, straight at the pin.
Yeah.
Where's the wind?
Maybe a yard left.
Wind off the left.
Wind's pretty much straight out as now at the north.
All right, now how about the setup, the hand position here, Jude?
Well, once again, short iron, so the hands well forward, the flared left foot. It works with this kind of stroke. I don't see it as positive a position if you're trying to drive the ball.
And to come on the tee at the 11th.
Into that little breeze from the left. Not a long hole. Get it in the fairway, and you're thinking birdie. This is up the right. Didn't turn left at all.
Well, it's not in the long grass or the sand, so.
Well, out here, that basically means fairway, doesn't it?
Yeah, it should be, although not a good angle for the hole location today. As we go over to 17, an area scrambling for a par here on this par 5, and manages to do so. Back to the 11th, and Amy Olsen.
Said she just hit the ball so well yesterday. She's done so again today. A couple swing changes. It took a little time to work into her game from Ronnie Stockton that really made her much less reliant on timing, Judy, and she's seeing the benefits of it.
Boy, and when you have that day where you say, well, my timing's off, I used to try to wonder what actually that is. And now what I think it is when your timing is off, you get these series of things that happen in your golf swing in the wrong order. And that only takes like a 32nd of a second to make one move a little sooner than the move you wish you had made.
Such a small difference between a great shot and an awful shot in this game. And sometimes it takes some time to figure out what that difference is. Lincecum, big jump, leading the way here on day 2 of the CME Group Tour Championship. Hey, Mike. So when we go to a shot and the graphic comes up and their position in the CME Globe is up there, that is coming in? That's not updated? Yeah. Last night, the LPGA honored its own at the Rolex Awards dinner at the Ritz-Carlton here on property. For the 4th year in a row and 12th overall for South Korea, it was Jin Young Ko who was awarded the Louise Suggs Rolex Rookie of the Year honor. For the 2nd time in 3 seasons, Thailand's Arya Jutanagarn received the LPGA's top honor, Rolex Player of the Year. Heavy trophy. Season's remaining top honors come down to Sunday here at the CME Group Tour Championship. Congratulations once again to Mr. Abbott for a job well done emceeing the event.
Well, it's always an evening to look forward to. Great pleasure to be there. Now, Georgia Hall, 2nd to the 9th. Georgia was on the stage last night as a Rolex first-time winner. And she told the story of how her father, when he caddied for her at the Ricoh Women's British Open, wore the same pair of socks the entire week. Because he wore them on the first day she played so well, he figured they would be a lucky charm, and he wore them the rest of the week.
I think it was a pretty smart move.
Jessica Korda for birdie at 14. Got it there. Yep. Jessica Korda on stage last night as well with her sister Nellie, both winners this year in the LPGA. Some really meaningful speeches last night at players up there, eh?
Yeah, I thought so. Every year somebody.
So much Lexi there, just leaving it short. Judy?
Yeah, every year somebody has a word or two to say in their thank yous that's really memorable.
Lexi was there last night, watching on. Maybe a little motivation to be back on the stage this time next year. Marina Alex did take the stage as a Rolex first-time winner, as we talked about at the Cambia Portland Classic. This for a birdie at 15.
This is her 24th start of the year, and she has won a whopping $825,000.
Now Amy Olsen second to the 11th.
156 yards of that tucked right hole location into that slight breeze, although in the fairway it doesn't feel nearly as strong as it did back on the tee, but still this is a 5-iron. Little one, got to try and keep it left of the hole, and this is safely left, about 35 feet.
Tough to get it to stop, but we'll have a few options there. Can use the putter. And we'll go up to the 18th.
On the tee, Ariya Jutanugarn. Obviously less than driver, which is her norm. But she hits it like a driver.
It's amazing the distance she can hit the 3-wood, and she measures up with a lot of players off the tee.
Lincecum down the right side here, Jerry.
Not bad, actually. She's between 7 and 8 iron. She went with the 7 because that essentially takes that greenside bunker out of play. From this angle, it's just a matter of hitting it enough distance, not controlling the line so much, and not really pleased with that.
You can see how close that flag is to the right side. 14th hole.
Charlie Hull to get it to 8 under. Came in number 19, so chance to win the tournament, but not the CME Globe. On what is a gorgeous day here, southwest coast of Florida. 70 degrees, a little bit of a breeze. Cool front came in overnight, and Lincecum at 11 under, the record for 36 holes here. It's happened a couple of times. 12 under par, so she's right there with a lot of golf left to play. And last year it was 15 under that won it. Americans up top playing well, including Lizette Salas at 5 under. Danielle Kang right behind. Gabby Lopez coming off a win in the last. Jutanugarn not number 1 anymore, projected number 2. And Brooke Henderson working her way up a little bit, back to number 3 where she started. Some of the top names has been an easy go. Sunghyun Park, you just saw her name, Jude.
You know, it's kind of a funny leaderboard. Players who you really would expect to play well have just played mediocre, and some players have given themselves an opportunity coming this weekend.
Yeah. 12, par 3, Saganda.
They've moved the tee up on this hole about 20 yards from where it normally is. And that's because this whole location is really tight on the left side. Carlotta started this in the middle of the green and has drawn it to the hole.
Releasing just a bit too, so pretty good.
Charlie Hull on the tee at 15.
Part of what makes her hands look so far forward is she has quite a strong left-hand grip. But, you know, my preference would be for somebody not to get that deep set in their knees and not fan that left foot quite that much. But it's working.
Mm-hmm. This is Georgia Hall at the 9th. I was awarded the Sunday Times Young Sportswoman of the Year award just a few weeks ago, which is a pretty big award back in her home country. Sunday Times, a very popular Sunday newspaper, and she was thrilled to be there with other stars of the sports scene to collect that award.
12T, Lexi.
This is just a 7-iron for Lexi Thompson. Again, it's playing just a bit into the wind, so she doesn't have to kill this one to get it back there, though. This one a little low, drawing to the hole. This could be very good.
Judy, you could tell just from the look behind her that it really set up to her eye.
Yeah. That's 12 of 12 greens today for Lexi Thompson, and she is 3rd overall on the tour in greens hit in regulation.
And you feel bad for the turf when she goes after it like
yeah,
that.
and bad for her hands. And she has talked about trying to take shallower divots, learning to shallow it out for the sake of her hands.
Has not made a bogey this week. And will not make one here. I'm going to go out on a limb. 211.
Amy Olsen for a birdie.
If you get some help from the Stockton family, and as we know, Ron Stockton helps her, I'm sure you get a little putting tip here and there from Dave Stockton, who was one of the best putters of all time.
That was a great effort there. Amy is a trained accountant. Her brother is caddying for her this week. He's an auditor for a big firm. They're pretty smart, her brother and sister right there.
Yeah, she is a fully licensed CPA.
Now, Lincecum for birdie. May have learned something from Amy Olsen. She seemingly had the line. Made her score on the front nine so far this week. She is 8 under par for the front nine. 11 under overall.
Here at 18, you see the wind. Hard to stop it there. It's the third toughest hole on the golf course. And Jutanagarn will be next to play.
Carry the bunker is 150. Okay.
If you could hear her caddy, he said to carry the bunker is 150. If you go straight at the flagstick, if you carry the bunker, you better have really struck it well, because it's going to try to get away from you and go over. And there's a little ridge right there. It actually kind of stayed right on top of that ridge.
It's a good shot. It's just so tough to get it close. That whole location. And there are a number of different difficult hole locations at 18. It was front right yesterday. Everybody missing short right with the soft conditions. Tough to hold it today. The overall race to the CME Globe. It's not Jutanagarn who started number one. It is Nasahata-Oka. Bit of a struggle, but still projected to be up to number one with $1 million on the line Sunday afternoon.
a great chance for birdie for Lexi Thompson, who has 4 birdies already on her round today.
This for birdie. Still life, yes.
To post 15 under.
Pressure makes you do crazy, strange things in a good and bad way. And that was one of the bad ways.
For the Tour Championship.
Yes, you remember the putt missed, but you should also remember that putt made by Ariya Jutanugarn to win it. And the overall race won by Lexi Thompson. Right now, playing great. Another great chance at birdie here to get it to 9 under.
It is, and I think one of we talked already about the Rolex Awards last night, and I think Tom brought up a very perfect point during the presentation. Lexi Thompson last year won the Vare Trophy for the low scoring average of just a little over 69. I think it was 69.1. There has been only one person in the history of the LPGA Tour that has broken that 69 barrier, and that was Annika Sorenstam in 2002. And for Lexi to have the lowest ever scoring average across the course of a year, I think that's something that really we shouldn't forget how well she played throughout the course of the year.
Short putt made this time by Lexi Thompson to 9 under. No, it's a great point. And you look at the leading scoring average this year, Ariya Jutanugarn 69.43. So 69.1 and change is awfully impressive. Jutanugarn now on that 18th green. Did she do it again? Yeah, she did. She did it again. Not quite the fanfare.
I think she knew you were talking about her.
Yeah, maybe. She just can't miss a putt on 18. So still number 2, but very close now. Gets a little closer to Nasa Hataoka. With 2 more days left.
That was like a husband and wife. That's too far. Okay, you go again. Blue? Yep. 58.
So on 12, talking about aiming at the husband and wife.
Used to be a lone tree at the front right of this green, not quite on the front corner. I don't know if the tree got sick and had to be taken out or whatever, but I missed that tree. And I think Greg Norman should plant a new one.
Players don't miss it. That was some shot.
That started off right at the couple in blue and drew right at the hole.
There you go.
Good game plan.
Any wind out there right now at all, Jerry?
Yes, it's not as sizable as yesterday, but it gusts at times.
All right, Marina Alex now at 16 for birdie. Yep, true. Pure. As are the greens. So the lone bogey back at 7. And in 4th place all by herself, 3 back. Amy Olsen.
2 more clubs in Linscomb. This is a 5-iron, a much more traditional height to the ball flight and not as much club head speed, but a good shot just right of the hole. A little deep.
And that devastating loss at the Evian, she said yesterday it hit her much harder than she thought it would, but it was also short-lived. She got over it much quicker than she thought she would.
That's a great trait to have in this game of golf.
Charlie Hull second at 15. Stopped quickly. There is a little ridge there on that green.
Hataoka on the tee at 12.
Going with a 7-iron, gave a little extra, and in so doing pulled a little bit. That's dangerously left.
Saw the marshal signaling. Look out. And going to cross. Wow. Hataoka, by the way, the only player in the top 20 who is over par today.
You certainly have 3 very different golf swings in this final pairing.
Jude, European Tour, big one going on there. The race to Dubai in the DP World Tour Championship. 3rd round coming your way tomorrow early, 3 a.m. Matt Wallace with a 1-shot lead. the tournament. But, coming down to Mollywood, Tommy Fleetwood share a 6th, 3 back. Francesco Molinari share a 27th, 8 off the lead.
As we talk about Brittany Lincecum having fun playing golf, do you think Mollywood has had a little fun playing golf this year?
They were great. I don't care who you're cheering for. You had to enjoy those two in the Ryder Cup and beyond. Nasa Hataoka not enjoying today's round. And now not only the top 20, but top 21. Add one more. 2 over.
She might just be able to lease a house around here. She may have to forget the buying.
Getting on the tee at 16. 164. Wow. Seeing some great shots. Dancing around the hole.
Here's Charlie Hull for the birdie at 15.
Yeah, her putting style is a little bit different. That left arm is just becomes an extension of the golf club. The way she does it with that very straight arm.
Gonna try and stay out of trouble this winter break. Last winter break, she slipped on some snow shortly after this event and was injured for 3 weeks. Kind of hampered her start to the 2018 season. So hopefully a little less eventful as she takes a break over the Christmas period. Brittany Lincecum leads by 2.
I talk over this, right?
7, 6.
Been a struggle today, but not so the year. One of 2 players with 2 aces on the LPGA. Nasa Hataoka, the 19-year-old from Japan. All those top 15 finishes into the winner's circle. Toto, Japan recently, and just really had one of those years where she has emerged on this tour as one of the top names. And a great chance to win the whole race to the CME Globe, but a struggle here at 12.
It sounded like good solid contact, but maybe a little too much so. I think she's got whatever that thing is that some people have inside of them when they see the opportunity to play well, because she measures up when she has to.
Nelly Korda for birdie at 16. Aggressive attempt, yeah, rounded in. What is it, the money list that they wagered the 2 sisters, and who's higher on that? And
yeah,
the bag on
they
the
were
line?
talking about that yesterday. It seemed like they couldn't figure out who would. They hadn't checked the money list recently.
Exactly. Olsen for birdie at 12. Boy, she's had 3 or 4 of those.
And not to leave you out of the money list handbag story, they play for a very expensive handbag.
Right, exactly.
In fact, winner's choice.
Oh,
that
is that
could
right?
be, that could be dangerous.
Yeah.
Now for a par at the 15th, Charlie Hull. Okay. All pars on the back 9 after a wonderful front 9, so does have that par 5 to come at 17, which is a good birdie chance usually for these players.
Beautiful tee shot in here for Lincecum, and another opportunity, this time to get it to 12 under.
And a rare uphill birdie putt to this whole location. Almost everything is a defensive effort on this green, but not from this angle. Should go a little right.
Perfect. Great look, too, from down low. So she's got it to 12 under par with 13 birdies already.
Hello to Segunda, just driving it into the waist area there at the 13th.
Yeah, only by just a couple of inches, Tom, and it's enough to cause her some difficulty. That was just awkward.
Was she sort of on a little downslope there?
She was, little downslope and, yeah, tough.
16.
Great shot in here, Kang for birdie. Raises that putter pre-stroke. Oh my gosh.
She's always had a little quirk in the way she took the putter back.
Second at the 13th, Valexi.
Just 122 left. Can use a little slope just right of this whole location to draw it closer.
Lives in Delray Beach, Florida, which is about 2 hours drive from here. She told me last night, said it's just too far to drive. If it was an hour, I might drive home every day, but easy to get home on Sunday, but not able to stay in your own bed this week.
Tom, introducing the new Wilson Cortex driver, the winning club from Driver vs. Driver 2, presented by Wilson. It's available now in more than 1,000 golf stores worldwide and online at wilson.com/Cortex and revolutiongolf.com/Wilson. So check it out, hit it along.
Yeah, my buddy produces that show. I said, can you get me a discount? He said, well, I don't know.
No.
I don't know. You got to try the driver first.
Might not fit you.
I heard it's really good.
Is that right?
Yeah.
No? So we hit at 230 now?
234.
It's not that good, Terry.
Scroll through the leaderboards here and down through those. You know, the 5 unders, you think you're playing really well, but you look up and you're 7 off the lead. Meanwhile, Jessica Korda at 16. One of those at 5 under.
There's another one tight to the edge of the green, 12 feet from the left edge of the green, and I think there's so many hole locations like that
Not
today.
6, is it?
9 feet, 12 feet.
Smaller.
Play short.
On the tee at the 13th, Brittany Lincecum.
A little lull in the breeze right now. Lake barely moving. A little in what breeze there is from the left, but a pretty generous fairway. This starting well right. Little baby drop it. Probably not enough.
Oh, watch out. Well, they've added a lot of those grass bushes there in the waist areas, Judy.
Yeah, 13 is a very short par 4, 350 yards. You can see all the way up the right side that big long waist area. Bunker at the left. The driving area is reasonably generous, and particularly a lot of players aren't going with a driver here. But a pretty generous green, pretty big green at 13. Some players will try to take it off the tee and put it in that big front left-hand bunker, but I don't think it's a bargain.
13th hole on the left, and that's the 18th on the right. So the other holes kind of snake around and then come back. Pretty close to where we are here. Olsen.
That too starting down the right side, not coming back. Can't see where it ends from the tee, if it's in the coquina shells or in the fairway.
And we will find out.
Par 3 16th, Charlie Hull.
There's a lot of things you can change with a player, but it is pretty difficult. I can't say it's impossible, but it's pretty difficult to change a player's natural rhythm, their natural pace of their swing.
Nasser on the tee at the 13th.
She hasn't missed many fairways since I joined her, and this one isn't going to miss either.
Up at the green, Lindy Duncan for the birdie.
And could do with something good happening. She's not really played poorly, but hasn't really been able to get anything going. And that needs to get going to the hole.
Yeah. A bit of work left for the 27-year-old Floridian. 5th year on the LPGA Tour. 70th in the world is Lindy. She's had a good season, really good season, with 2 top 5 finishes. Had a chance to win at the Volunteers of America Texas Classic. That event was shortened to just 36 holes. Sunhyun Park ended up taking the title. But Lindy was close. Now, Lexi. It's got to be pretty close between herself and Carlotta, isn't it, Karen?
It really is. I think both of them were kind of trying to decide who is away, and I think if I was in Lexi's shoes, I'd much rather go, to be honest, because at times Carlotta can take her time over the putts, and I'm a player that, and I'm sure Lexi is too, that would definitely prefer to just get on with it.
Going to work with her brother Curtis, who's a very good player in his own right. He tried to qualify for the PGA Tour event this week in the Monday qualifier, playing up in Georgia at the RSM Classic. He shot 5 under but didn't get in. He's been playing on the web.com tour this year. He's 174th on their money list, so it's been a tough year for Curtis.
If he had got into the tournament, Tom, I think Lexi's dad was scheduled to caddy this week.
Yeah, he caddied on Monday, didn't he, in the practice round, and then Curtis came down.
Oh.
30 holes and counting for Lexi. Bogey free. It's the longest bogey free streak of the season for Lexi.
She took a good run at that one too. When she's not on, she tends to get way too tentative. But that was a pretty confident stroke.
Players leaving it short here at 16. Long one for Hull to get it to 8 under.
That's you're going to cross the shadows.
Get rid of the shadows here.
So if I'm reading the rules correctly and understanding correctly, and you all straighten me out if I'm not, she would not have had to have that flagstick attended come 2019.
Correct.
I'm amazed at that rule change.
How come?
I can't imagine being 5 feet from the hole and you don't have to take the flagstick out.
Little backboard?
Yeah.
I know.
I find it just an amazing thing.
It's going to be interesting. It's an adjustment for people on the green, too. I mean, you've been doing it one way your entire life. So we'll see. 3-shot lead, Brittany Lincecum here on day 2 in Naples, Florida.
Lexi Thompson for a par at 13th, trying to keep that bogey-free streak going. Okay. 3 behind Brittany Lincecum. Tied for second at the moment is Lexi.
Similar putt to holes here. Jessica Korda for birdie. Charlie Hull did make her par. A little bit short. Trying to come up that. Hard to make yourself get it all the way there. Although the greens are 12, and through the course of the 4 days, you think they'll get a little firmer and faster with the breeze?
Well, if we get the breeze and this warm sunshine, yes.
I mean, that rain overnight prior to yesterday's round.
Nasa with her second at the 13th.
Ball slightly below her feet from 131 yards. Pretty smooth 9-iron there. Clipped it nicely. Just right of the hole if it's a number.
Yes. Trying to fight her way back. 3 over par for the day. There aren't too many scores worse than that, only a handful. And now Brittany Lincecum with some trouble off the tee, Jerry, driving it close to that muley bush.
Yeah, she'll have a shot, Brittany will, but it's going to be a really awkward stance. She's going to have to stand basically right in the plant. But she can get the club to the back of the ball cleanly. Amy Olsen, on the other hand, also in this what we call a waist area. Not a very good lie, though, at all. Ball sitting down. You can ground your club, and in so doing, it does improve the lie. She caught it cleanly, though.
Yeah. It's a good shot.
Amy hanging in there, tied for second, and now Lincecum, who's built that nice lead. 3 shots. Got some problems here.
Gripping it, huh? Yeah.
The rules state you obviously have to be able to take a stance. You have to take it in the least intrusive manner possible, which she has done. It is only a pitching wedge, and she should be able to get to the back of the ball cleanly. Still not the easiest shot with a wedge to catch cleanly. And that was a little heavy.
So Tom said these things, it's called muley grass, which we misreferenced it yesterday, but a lot of people around the country would know it as pampas grass. It's certainly similar in look and problems on the golf course. Breaks her hands so quickly. Gets her back down on the ball in a little steeper manner when she needs it to.
Scrambling to try and make a 4. Let's go to the 14th.
Lexi on the tee.
And you'd think at 5:31 this would be a 3-shotter, but I think this drive she absolutely tattooed. Might give her reason to think, maybe.
Yeah, she set it up well to the right and really turned it over, didn't she, Karen?
That's her plan, and I think it works well for her, Judy.
Man, we'll see. Par 5, 5:31. Yep, got a chance. Yeah, getting close to Christmas time. Still Thanksgiving until then. And downtown Naples, down to about 20,000. Okay. The season's final event. One more champion to identify. Area Jutanagarn and Sungyoon Park continue their week-to-week battle for world number 1. Who will finish the season on top? Jutanagarn clinched Rolex Player of the Year for the second time in 3 seasons, this time with 3 events remaining on the schedule. Will she hold on to claim her first VAIR trophy? Or will the Rolex Rookie of the Year, Jin Young Ko or Min-Ji Lee, end up with the lowest scoring average? And don't forget about the richest prize in women's golf. It's the culmination of the race to the CME Globe and its $1 million bonus. 12 are mathematically alive. Simplified, if any of the top 5 win this week, write her name on that $1 million check. So much at stake here at the CME Group Tour Championship. And a race that has spanned the globe, playing in 13 countries, 31 events. This is 32 here in Naples, and everything on the line at the CME Group Tour Championship. Brittany Lincecum, go back to the start of the year. She won it, pure silk, and trying to win the final one too. Terry Gannon, Judy Rankin with you and the crew. Area Jutanagarn 71. We just saw her finish up a short time ago. Currently projected to win the race with the struggles of Nasa Hataoka today. And Lexi, the only player in the field without a bogey on the scorecard. More difficult day 2 though. So that's pretty significant, that jump to over 72, the scoring average, out to 13.
Brittany Lincecum's 3rd.
Lying dead into the grain, which is always so tough because it is so very strong.
Really good.
Get it to stop. It's not that bad, but you have to putt from the fringe to make 4. That was a moment ago. Now Amy Olsen for her birdie.
See if she can finally get one to drop. Doesn't look to be doubting her reads or anything.
Two top 10 finishes in majors this year for Amy Olsen. She finished tied for 9th at the ANA Inspiration. Don't forget, she was right there. Now Christy Kerr has 2nd at the 15th. Aggressive line for Christy. Things are starting to heat up at the school by the sounds of things. You can always hear the kids playing in the afternoons.
My Chrissy, one of the moms on tour in 2018, Jude, and congratulations to all of them, starting with Dorena Pillar and Martin, with AJ and Brooke Pancake.
Yeah, these are the newer moms on tour.
Yeah.
And Suzanne Pedersen with that beautiful little boy.
Mentioned Christy and Griffin, born August 28th. Stacey Lewis recently becoming a mom. And Karini Shea. That's a great look. There's the school next door.
Yeah, so I think we'll have some of those new moms and some of those babies. Not quite, they won't all be infants, but I think we'll have them back on the tour.
Daycare out here
in
in the
2019.
LPGA.
Great daycare out here. It has made it possible for a lot of girls and women to do what they do best and have a family.
It's for par. Oh, good form. It's going to be interesting next year to see those top players coming back, maybe with a different perspective, and see how that affects their golf. Marina Alex, 3rd at the 17th, in the middle of that huge bunker by the looks of things.
Didn't look like the ball was sitting really well.
Ball feeds away to the left side of the green. She didn't want to go straight at it. Sensible play from Marina. Has family here this week. So, like many players, it's a great celebration of the season. And for those who have family up north, it's a good excuse to come down and get some winter sunshine. And this week seemingly has been a good week to come down if you live in the northeast of the United States.
Yes, there's a lot of cold weather hit just this past week in a lot of parts of the country. Marina Alex, if you look at her stats, one of her great strengths is driving the ball. She drives it well over 250 yards off the tee on an average, and she's 5th in fairways hit on the LPGA Tour.
You too. Really nice shot.
Speaking of driving it, that's what Lexi did here in the fairway at the par 5.
I would say mostly in.
Just a little bit too much to have it go for this one into. She's got
over the yellow stripe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
276 to the flag, and this is something that her brother Curtis, when he plays, probably doesn't even have to think about too much, and that's laying up on par 5s. It's definitely a skill that the LPGA players have to perfect, and you've got to really take seriously the quality of your layup shots, because ultimately how good you lay it up will depend on if you have a good chance at a birdie. This one going down the left side, and I think that'll give her a great chance from there.
Yeah, good spot. One reason she is so long off the tee is her brother's always made her play the tees they play.
Yeah.
And she learned how to stay with them.
Some of the highlights. If you missed the early action, Brittany Lincecum off to a great start yesterday and following that up with long putts today. Looking for win number 2 this season. Lexi Thompson hasn't made a mistake yet in terms of a bogey. This at the par 3 12th.
Yeah, this was just a gorgeous shot. Little draw moving right towards the flagstick.
Mention how good she's been greens and regulation throughout the season. She'd make that putt. Lincecum to get it to 12 under. So Brittany Lincecum leading the way, up by 3. Talking about playing stress-free golf and just having a good time out there, and so far it's working for her. She's jumped up to number 5 on that list. Ariya Jutanugarn has taken the lead once again because Nasa Hataoka having a really tough time of things. She was leading earlier today, but it has not been a good second round.
Yeah, and a big birdie at the 18th hole for Ariya Jutanugarn.
Yep. 15.
Here's Christy Kerr from off the green at the 15th. Steady on, Christy.
That might be the worst putt she's hit in the season.
Now Marina Alex for a birdie. From Wayne, New Jersey. Originally we were talking about players coming from the northeast. Oh, how about that? That putt looked like it came from all the way in the northeast.
I thought it stopped about twice and it just kept turning over.
Well, good up and down from the bunker. And Marina Alex is creeping towards the top of the leaderboard here. Looking to set the clubhouse lead. She moves to 9 under and tied for second.
Closer look here at 14, Jude.
Yeah, the par 5, you can see that it bends around the 2 separate water hazards, but the water really isn't in play off the tee. You're trying to drive the ball in that little left-hand patch up there, left of that waist area. It is very difficult. You have to hit it a really long way to get home here in 2, so it's a 3-shot hole. You're going to lay up and keep the ball a little bit towards the left side, and you end up with a sand wedge or maybe not quite a full wedge shot into this green. And at 14 today, the hole is on that front right.
Lincecum from the tee.
That is a really good position right there.
Thank you.
I've not seen anybody in a long time who is enjoying life quite as much as Brittany Lincecum.
I know.
Well, the little girl that rode around with her in the Monday Pro-Am, Riley, is 8 years old, and she's her new biggest little fan there could possibly be. She's out here with her, and that just reminded Brittany of what the game was supposed to be like.
That's a great look. Front row.
And the same shirt every day, much like Georgia Hall's dad with the socks to bring her luck.
Got to be a little sassy, though, at 8 years old to have mirrored sunglasses, don't you?
Well, you know, she was sassy. As soon as she met Brittany, she said, yeah, I had my first hole-in-one at age 6, chipped in 16 times, and Brittany said she was giving lessons to the other players in the group.
Well.
It's awesome. Afraid of nothing at that age.
Step right up.
Good shape there for Nasa.
We like that as a kid.
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I had a pair of sunglasses until I was about 22.
Well, no, I don't mean that. I mean the attitude of it.
Christy Kerr's reaction after that first putt was, "Are you kidding me?" How bad it was. This for par. Yeah. We've seen that a few times. Christy's had a strange year. I mean, she was 5 shots ahead at the halfway stage of the Kia Classic and shot 75 in the 3rd round. Remember that Saturday? And it came out of nowhere, and since then it hasn't really challenged. She finished tied 2nd that week, but hasn't really challenged for a win, which is unusual for Christy Kerr. But a lot going on away from the course with a new baby.
Today's coverage is brought to you by CME Group, how the world advances. And by Volunteers of America, helping America's most vulnerable. Back to the par 5 14th, the 3rd for Thompson.
And from 88 yards in a perfect angle, does have a bit of a backstop behind the hole that she can use.
Yeah, bringing it back. Okay, 3-shot hole and a chance. And a birdie for Lexi. Well, if you're confused at all about the race of the CME Globe, here to explain, the mad scientist, Tom Abbott.
The CME Group Tour Championship is a celebration. I can't actually see anything with these on. But as I was saying, it is a reward for a successful year.
Yeah.
And there's $1 million on the line. But winning the Tour Championship doesn't necessarily guarantee you a $1 million payday.
He says, dressed in a lab coat.
Well, why is that, you ask? Well, let me explain. But first, I need to take these off. Points have been awarded based on a player's finish in every event since the start of the season. And the top 72 in those points qualify for the Tour Championship here in Naples.
Tom, do you really know what you're talking about here?
Which, according to this GPS microscope, is only 284 miles from the season's first event on Paradise Island in the Bahamas.
Which I won, by the way.
But there's a caveat. If you didn't finish inside the top 72 in the race to the CME Globe and you won on the LPGA Tour, you're in.
I see.
But not every player in the field qualifies to win the $1 million prize. No, it wouldn't be fair to be 72nd in the race to the CME Globe, have a hot week and scoop the million, would it now? Only the top 12 have a mathematical chance of winning. Oh, hold on, that's not the right chart.
I've even made it more confusing.
No. It's elementary. Players in the top 5, if they win, they scoop the $1 million. And the rest of you 7 players, good luck. But don't worry, myself and my expert announcer friends will keep you up to speed as the week unfolds. No homework necessary.
All right, you got all that? You know you're going to have to do a new one for next year. Get the lab. You saved the lab coat, right?
Yes,
all right.
And the glasses.
Because next year, top 16 points, getting a spot in this Tour Championship. The winners share increased to 1.5 and a $5 million purse overall, so it's doubled there. But you come in, no reset of the points. Next year, if you're in the 60, you come here to play, you win the entire 1.5 million.
So that's basically a free-for-all.
That is. That's it, right. That's a technical term. Lexi, wants that one back.
Yeah, one part of her emotional struggle this year is she has not been very patient when things have gone wrong. And she has worn it right on her shirt sleeve.
Smiling right now, though. All right, go back to Lincecum. Going to lay up for the second.
Yeah.
She better be. There's somebody on the green.
Yeah, now it's 248 to the front into the breeze.
Oh.
That was nearly topped.
What was that?
Holy cow.
Little thin.
Yeah, that wasn't like a good Harry Carey, holy cow.
You know, I think it's just a good thing that she didn't catch it solid with the swing she made, because it might have been out there in the traffic.
Well, the guy sitting there, too, is certainly in the line. Tenepo Bunyaras off the tee at 16. Very nice.
Yeah, beautiful shot.
One of those who's just been hanging around near the top of that leaderboard, which right now has 5 Americans in the top 5. Top 5 here are from the U.S.
Here's another example of those bunkers and the steep faces. And Nelly having to carry it over another face, which she just did. The difference there would have been, well, we said it yesterday, maybe a few shots.
Saganda taking a look. And this for birdie. Just thinking about it, Jude, you got Lincecum, Alex Thompson, Amy Olsen, Nelly Korda. That's the top 5. When's the last time you had a top 5 in an LPG event, all with an American flag next to their name?
I have not seen it a lot, certainly if we've seen it at all lately. But Julie Inkster, the Solheim Cup captain for 2019, will be pretty happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
Carlota Saganda, one of the really strong players for the Euros and the Solheim Cup.
And a few years ago in that UL International Crown, this year taking place in South Korea and won by South Korea. All right, so the green has cleared. Sure, it's NASA who will be first.
Yeah, they're all three basically equidistant, right at 90 yards. But NASA's looks to be maybe a few inches further. 54-degree wedge from, again, right at 90 yards into a light breeze. Very easy hole location for a scoring club. Lands on an uphill slope and into the breeze, so you just land it hole high. And I think all three are expecting to have shortish birdie putts here.
Yeah, right now it really appears to be a great angle for NASA.
Not bad, but she's not exactly thrilled with it.
B- maybe?
Yeah.
Well, she's at the point where she really needs to make a couple of birdies and make them quick, and the par 5 seems like the likely place.
After a holy cow on the second, the third for Lincecum.
Yeah, I'm assuming this contact's going to be a little better. Although she hits even these gap wedges very, very low.
Yeah. Look at the mark.
You could say holy cow again.
I know, right? And that was an inch away from going in on a fly. And now Amy Olsen.
Gap wedge here. That was sand wedge for Brittany. 56 degree. This is a gap wedge. Floating a little higher in the breeze. Another good one.
I got the spin though.
Yep.
Well, they haven't fought that much this week.
Just even par today, 9 under, right where she started the day. Marina Alex here at 18. Over by yesterday's hole location.
Yeah, that's a fairly hefty 2-putt.
One what she was looking for. So there is that first page. Charlie Hull, the first one popping up. That is not from the U.S. She's 5 back. And another chance. Lincecum's got a chance to get it to 13 under par with Lexi and the rest hanging in there, making a run. Today, 2 more here in the final event of the season.
This golf course is definitely visually difficult. The bunkers, they've always played a really big part of the tournament. There have been some really big numbers in them and people have come out of contention because of them.
Avoid the bunker. Could be tough, you know, like it just depends on you get a good bounce or bad bounce or, you know, good lie.
With the really high lips, I think it sort of feels like linksy type feel, so visually it looks tough to get out of and some of them really cut into your stance, so I think you just got to be smart in where you hit your second shots and your drives.
I quite like them, so I don't think if I go in them I won't be too disappointed.
It's all about attitude, isn't it? Georgia Hall's got the right attitude there. Let's see if Maria Jutanagan can execute from one of those bunkers. And she certainly can. So that's going to be a par for Jutanagan to finish off the round. 2-tee start here. The 17th, Nelly Korda for par. Yeah. Broke through and won a few weeks ago during the LPGA Tour's adventures in Asia. And now she's got a chance to do it again. Kind of felt like that first win was brewing, and she might win pretty quickly after the first. Now to 14.
Amy Olsen coming up for birdie.
Yeah, this one on the slower side. Much longer than it looked to be from the fairway when she hit the second or the third.
Well, she kind of hit the putt.
Yeah, not her best there.
Yeah. Created a pull and a lot of work.
Back to 17. And Hull second. Leaning like it's going right. Oh, just enough to carry. It's going to be really good.
Beautiful.
Great chance at eagle for Charlie Hull. That would move her to 9 under par.
Well, we're going to go back and look at this, but look at her setup. Hands forced forward. She has a bit of a hyperextended left arm at address. She breaks her hands very quickly away from the ball, so that is all part of the hands set very low. There's some people who would say practice with a beach ball between your knees, and it looks like she has done that. Up on her toes, which is in fashion these days. And really a good shot there at 17.
Birdie try, Lynch come 14.
Nice one here, turning a little right.
Yeah, the way she's playing. All set up by that second shot, Jude.
The best laid plans.
And a shake of the head because of it. But yet another birdie to 13 under and up by 4. Wow.
Yeah, you live a lot longer in this game if you have a sense of humor.
Well, it's off the green here at 18 with the approach. This for par, Marina Alex. So drop shot there. Had it to 9 under, and now is even further off the lead. 8 under, but good first 2 days.
Second shot for Lexi Thompson at the 15th.
She has 161 all the way to the flag. But this flag is really tight on the back edge of the green. Difficult to get it all the way back there.
Yeah, she did, and she's going to just hang on to the putting surface, similar to where Christy Kerr was earlier.
I like the fact that she's not fighting the right to left shot, that she's accepting it. She's a natural right to left player. When she starts swinging where she's holding on all the time, she doesn't play her best.
Olsen, no,
Ow.
that was for par.
Ow.
So kind of hanging in there, even par for the day, and now has dropped the shot. And those two probably not anywhere near her best strokes that we've seen.
Well, the first one was one where she had a sudden thought halfway back, I've got to hit this putt a little harder.
Yeah.
We talk about now this is the worst we've seen. That is some shot there. Maybe helped her coming across the face rather than having to go straight up against it.
Yeah, but that was the steepest
difficult
part of that revetted face.
Well, her sister managed to avoid that shot, but Jessica couldn't. But has played it pretty well.
I think the first time you see a bunker like that in a situation like that, and your ball's right very near to it, you think there's no way out. I can't even go sideways. But you do learn a technique that gets the ball to go straight up in the air.
Take a look at some of the bunker shots that we've seen today. This was Amy Olsen at the 4th. And I think those steep faces just get in players' heads, Judy. That wasn't a difficult shot. Now she left herself this one.
That was all about going ahead and going after the ball. You've got to hit it hard to get the ball go straight up. Watch this golf ball. Straight up the ball goes. That takes some clubhead speed.
This was Lindy Duncan at the 9th. Now it was lying in sort of a fried egg lie. Yeah. So, whoa, she did well for the ball not to hit her. Just caught the top of that face as you watch here. It's close to getting out, but not quite.
It is pretty near impossible if it's buried and up really close to the face. But keep the speed up.
This was Nelly. Took on the shot. This is the Jessica. Who's in a very similar spot there. And the best sand saves on tour this season. Top 5 in the race of the CME Globe. You can see Sunkyun Park back in 85th. And she talked about that earlier in the week, that she's going to focus in on some parts of her game that need work. And when you compare them to the top players, she's obviously going to be doing a bit of work on her bunker play on the off-season. Now Charlie Hull for an eagle would be the first one today. Had a couple yesterday on this hole. And she moves to 9 under. So Charlie Hull trying to win at the CME Group Tour Championship for the 2nd time in her career. 4 shots back right now. Still plenty of golf to be played until the big checks are handed out on Sunday. Lexi Thompson at the 15th for a birdie.
This one should break to the right and is sneaky quick.
Well, we haven't seen many from above the hole, Karen.
Just desperate for it to turn at the last minute. Very quick putt. Christy Kerr got caught out by that.
Charlie Hall someday going 6 under on the day, 9 under overall. Final hole. I'm gonna watch it a little bit. Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting pre-shot routine, Jude.
Yeah, popping the ground 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. So in the fairway at 18. Not done yet, though. It's a difficult hole, that approach and stopping it on the green. But the best on the board right now, 6 under today. Marina Alex finishing up and standing by with Lisa.
One of the very popular first-time winners last night, 1 of 10 during the awards ceremony. You got that win in Portland. You look really confident in this role right now, this position. How much did that win help you sort of ease into these bigger tournaments and get ready for something like this?
Yeah, I mean, the win was huge. You know, probably a little bit of a monkey off my back just to be able to prove to myself, you know, what I'm capable of. So I think it's freed me up from here on out to just kind of play golf that I know that I can. So I had a great round out there today, and hopefully I have a few more in the tank.
You're one of the most accurate drivers on the LPGA Tour. 5th in driving accuracy at 82%. Nobody's better than you this week because you haven't missed a fairway. How important has that club been through 2 rounds?
Yeah, it's really important. I mean, the fairway bunkers out here are a little penal, so if you're in them, sometimes you just don't have a great lie. And just it's important to get it in the fairway so that you can get a good shot into the green. Positioning on the green is really key to having good birdie opportunities. The greens can be a bit tough if you're in the wrong spot.
Long, hard day out there. And now, Terry, she has the very tough assignment of getting a massage. Is that too much information?
No, it's not too much information. But, yeah, I have a day with my physio.
Enjoy. Well played.
Thanks.
Just preparation for the weekend. Well done. 14 of 14 fairways. Not bad.
Lexi Thompson for par.
Do I need to do something like that after the show? Would it make me better?
You need to prepare for the weekend shows.
Yeah.
Yes. Straight to the massage table.
45? Yeah, not swinging wide.
Same hole. Brittany Lincecum a little wide off the tee and some tree trouble, Jerry.
Yeah, unfortunate to be there. It was.
So from here, I'm pretty comfortable going with that microphone. Huh? Okay, yep. Yep.
Tee shot was headed for the jump right of the fairway.
Sure.
Hit a tree and ended up here. She has to hook this.
Nothing in my way, huh?
If anybody can do it, she can. Clean lie. If you catch it a little heavy and get some of that pine straw between the ball and the club, though, it could squirt on you, and that could spell disaster. But basically, just a nice firm draw 8-iron. That's really good.
Well, she was maybe a little unlucky it didn't chase on more. Wonderful shot from Brittany Lincecum. There you go. That's what she was trying to do.
All right, so she might have started with that face just a little bit closed at address to encourage this hook. But the right to left shot is just natural to her. You saw that club drop, and you'll see her turn the club over, puts that right to left spin on the golf ball. And you're right, Tom, there's every indication that should hit the ground with a little skip.
From that angle, it looked very close to the palm tree.
Didn't it? Up on the green at 18, Lydia Ko to finish up with a par. Winner of this tournament back in 2014, twice the winner of the overall race to the CME Globe. Trying to get back to where she was. Got a win earlier this year. Earlier, Corda, lengthy one. Haven't seen many birdies here. Lydia Ko, Nelly Korda, and Danielle Kang, the threesome here finishing up. Good score though, 67 and 8 under. So 5 off the lead is Nelly. And that next group setting up for the approach. See how dangerous it is close to that water, and especially when you get that back left hole location.
Back with Brittany Lincecum here for birdie at the 15th.
From the bowl to the top tier, it'll turn left as it climbs.
It's caught a few players out this green, and Brittany is a little annoyed at herself to leave a tough par putt. Go to 16.
Thompson on the tee.
And another hole location on the left side that really should suit Lexi. She's able to start this at the middle of the green and drawing it now.
Anxious look, but no reason for it, Judy.
Yeah, good shot. I just think she's swinging the club better because she's not trying to fight the hook. She is going ahead and working with her natural shot.
Saw that miss from Lydia Ko up at 18. This for bogey. So it drops her to 4 under. What about Lydia right now?
Well, I think she's playing some good golf. She's just not playing the extraordinary golf that she played for 3 years. She was such a standout teenager.
That's an understatement. She was extraordinary. So high above, there is 18 coming in, 9 on the other side. And it's again been one of the toughest holes on the golf course. Their most difficult hole on this course today.
There is something about the 18th green and different hole locations really hard to get the ball close.
Hear the music, I gotta talk. Golf Advisor Getaways, expertly crafted golf trips to the world's best golf destinations. Book your spot now. Upcoming getaway, TPC Dansante Bay, Scottsdale, Sandestin at golfadvisor.com/getaways. Back to the action in a moment. We continue day 2 on a beautiful day here in Naples.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Back at 16, birdie try for Lexi Thompson.
And I think this one wants to maybe fall away to the right just as it approaches the hole. It's another one of those putts, and might be one of the reasons why the scoring's been a little tougher today, that just as the ball approaches the hole, they all just want to fall off the edges.
She had it set up for that.
Never left the hole. Still without a bogey, adds a birdie. Double figures to within 3.
Well, she could win enough, and if Curtis gets his playing status back, she could, officially have sponsored him with his payday.
True.
Amy Olsen for a birdie at the 15th.
Lengthy but pretty flat looking putt.
Just didn't hit it. Hasn't had a birdie since the 5th hole, the par 3. Only player in the top 10 over par for the day.
Uh-oh. Charlie Hall. Ooh. Watch the stance here. This is her 3rd.
Yeah.
That took some balance, Jude. Well, she did it in a hurry because she knew she was losing her balance mid-swing.
Plays in a hurry anyway, but that was even more so. Off the back, though.
This is for par at the 15th, Brittany Lincecum.
Pretty straight looking.
Oh, just stayed. May have pushed it, Judy, do you think?
Sometimes she kind of exaggerates the through stroke, and I think it keeps her from releasing the putter.
Pornonong Patlam at the 9th. This is her 3rd shot. She's just finishing her day here. Trying to finish it with a little chip in. And right on cue. Round of 70 today for Pornonong Patlam. And there is no cut here this week, remember. All 4 rounds guaranteed for the players in the field, and guaranteed check back to Brittany for bogey at 15. Oh, throwing shots away here, Jerry.
That's a 4 putt. That couldn't be more unexpected at this point.
Well, just when she looked like she was going to have a chance to build a really big lead, things change. Lexi makes a birdie and Lincecum makes a double, and it is a 1-shot lead. What happened, Judy?
I just think she didn't hit a very solid putt, and there was a little bit of turn there, and it was exaggerated if you don't hit a solid strike.
A couple of American superstars at the top of the leaderboard here at the CME Group Tour Championship.
I need to hit it harder. I think it is not harder, but like maybe just.
So Brittany Lincecum still hasn't three-putted this week.
Six is out of the question, right? I like add it or. Yeah.
We'll see what the demeanor does, whether it changes. Doesn't seem to have changed here.
Yeah, that will test your ability to play like your 10-year-old self. As she said, a 4-putt double. That's a 7-iron. And a good swing if it gets back there a little left of it.
Yeah, got the hop. All
Thank
right.
you.
Hang on, ball. Finally. But it will test your demeanor. And
It does, and there's something about just saying 4-putt. It's a backbreaker.
Jessica Corder.
that was to finish up, actually, on 18. So a 69 after opening with that. And 6 under. And after the struggles of Lincecum, she's 5 back.
On the tee at the 17th, Lexi Thompson. Doesn't look like a driver, I don't think, Karen.
No, she doesn't need it either. It is playing downwind.
Good shot, Lex.
And it's just going to whip down that fairway.
You know, if you're a right to left player and you can still spin the ball a lot, it's not bad in women's golf. Par 5. It feels like it turns a little right to left in the driving area, waist area all the way up the left side. It is pretty difficult to get in any trouble too far on the right, even though you can see it there. But those players who get it farther up in that landing area are going to take a go at the green. If you can't, you want to lay up short of that entire big right-hand bunker. Hole is on the back right today at 17. There's a giant fall off to the left side of the green.
This is the back of the 17th green. Panarat Tanapol-Buñuelas for birdie. There's a lot of movement in this green, and that was read perfectly by Panarat. And she is in the hunt here. It's been a fantastic year for Thai players. Obviously led by Arya Jutanagan as the Rolex Player of the Year, but had some fine performances by her fellow countrywomen to 18.
Remember the trouble Charlie Hull was in, past the green, played to here. This for bogey, just giving shots away.
Boy, and she drove the ball all right, so something really went awry with the second shot.
Yes. Remember, she was 6 under when she came to that tee for the day, 7 under overall after the 68, but what a way to end it. So in the last 20 minutes or so, we've seen some struggles out here, Jude.
Yeah, Charlie Hall went eagle double.
Yeah. And then the 4-putt from Brittany Lincecum as she was sailing away from the field, and that brought her right back, just a 1-shot lead. Christy Kerr, good day, to 5 under on Hataoka.
one event, one trophy, and $1 million. The CME Group Tour Championship and the race to the CME Globe.
And it does come all down to this, the final event of the season on the LPGA Tour. Look at the gallery. It's not only in Canada, they follow Brooke Henderson.
You know, she's just such a popular player. She's such a pleasant young woman, and people get a chance to meet her, they're stuck.
All right, overall, the race to the CME Globe, it's Ariya Jutanugarn who has the lead right now. She came in with the lead, and if you're in the top 5 coming in, you win the overall race. And the bonus, Hataoka struggled today. Brooke Henderson 3 under today, so she's got it under par, 2 under overall. Minjee Lee, the 4-putt a moment ago from Brittany Lincecum, but still leading the way in the tournament, that is.
Yeah, and she's still having a glorious round of golf. Just get past that and see if you can't turn it around.
Looking for a bounce back here. All right. So par at 16, but you know you got 17, the par 5 ahead, where you could think birdie, maybe even eagle. Certainly reaching 2. We go there now.
Lexi Thompson's second to 17.
Impossible to attack this flag on the right with a long iron, so middle of the green should be ideal. This is well struck.
Yeah, it's going to be in the middle of the green. Yesterday she hit 4-iron here, hit it to about 12 feet. Flag was over on the left yesterday.
Back at 16, Amy Olsen, who was better than anybody on day 1, but has won over today. Just hasn't made those putts today.
Cannot buy a putt.
She was struggling coming in, and then that terrific round to start, a career low, the 63. Leave 16 with a par. Chance to get one as well at 17. So we continue here on day 2. Look ahead to the weekend, and 3rd round coming your way same time on Golf Channel, 4:30 Eastern time, and then the final round is going to be on ABC, and that starts at 1 Eastern. The 8th edition of this event, the 5th time that it is a part of the CME Globe race. And that changes the format, at least next year. Only 60 players will earn their way into the field next year, and then points don't reset. It is just an all-out race to the finish. 4 days for the $1.5 million next season, largest purse ever in women's golf.
So everyone will tee off with the same kind of pressure as those 5 players did yesterday.
Number 1 or number 60 next year.
What an opportunity, though.
It's big, right? It's important for golf, for women's golf, this tour next year, stepping up like that.
Yeah, you know, over the generations, over the decades of the LPGA Tour, there's always been 1 or 2 sponsors somewhere along the way who step up and raise the bar. Terry Duffy and CME have done that here, as do a number of other sponsors in the last year or 2.
Yep. 17.
Amy Olsen on the tee.
As Karen mentioned, playing down breeze, even though Amy's not the longest, you could still run out of fairway up the right side here quite easily.
A little tight down the left?
No, not too bad.
Okay.
There's more room over there than you can see from the tee, believe it or not.
4 under on the par 5s yesterday. She is 1 over on the par 5s today.
So you just left that down. I mean, it's right at those bushes, I feel like. I guess I step right on this.
Watch the club as she hovers it over the ball.
That's going to run for a while and be very nice. Pretty much dead center of the fairway. And when she hits a good one, you will always hear that whistle when Mother Angie's out following.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and on birdies, it's a really loud one.
So the whistle is a good thing for Mum.
Watch this. She never grounds the club. She said, first of all, she's smoother this way. Secondly, she hits fewer hooks. But she breaks her hands. She has a very deep hand set. And when she changes directions, her lower body turns to her left side, hangs back on her right side just a little bit. As long as she keeps her backswing full, as long as she gets it set, she's a really good driver. If she gets a little short and quick, she can hit it left.
She looked like she didn't like that one too much, but it had a lot of trundle on it, didn't it? So it's in good shape. Lincecum leads by 1.
It's gotten tighter at the top and more interesting in the last 20 to 30 minutes. Brittany Lincecum with a 4-putt, so a 1-shot lead now over Lexi Thompson. Nelly Korda's right there. Jessica Korda also playing well today, a 69. Been tougher today, but not so much the conditions, maybe the hole locations.
I think the hole locations are a little tougher, and I think the greens are a little firmer.
Yeah. Lydia Ko struggle at 18, but 4 under to finish up. Nobody around for the 4 days. Brooke Henderson playing her last. 72 players starting. Aria's sister Moria, who got a win earlier this season, broke through for the first time. 71 today. Expect good conditions the next 2 days. All 4 here. We are told we can expect sunshine. Panarat Tenapo Buniras in the fairway for her second, the 20-year-old from Thailand.
Hybrid of some sort if she could take it in high. Big help here at 18.
But no chance. It's not a bad shot. You just can't stop it there.
Yeah, it's pretty good leave, but I don't know. The 18th hole just plays so very difficult when you have any kind of wind that's helping. It would almost be easier to play longer and play back into the wind because you could control the ball.
Mm-hmm. Christy Kerr now.
Great spot right here to see her little over the top move. It's always been a part of her golf swing.
My ball is like lined up and it's like lined up left.
We'll go over to the 17th hole here, and Lexi Thompson.
And an outside chance for an eagle, Tom. It is downhill. It will break to the left, but you never know. She's just made a good putt on the last, and Lexi can certainly get on a roll with putts from this length.
Steady, steady, steady.
A very good putt that leaves her a whole lot of work.
And very good tee to green this week. Lexi hasn't missed a green in regulation since the 11th hole yesterday. Just 2 missed greens so far this week. It's the best in the field here at the CME Group Tour Championship. Brooke Henderson finishing at the 9th for a birdie. And she's left it short. The putter has hurt her a little bit this week. She's not looked confident on the greens from what we've seen. And she likes to fiddle around a little bit with the different putters during the season. Maybe he just hasn't found something she's comfortable with. Still huge support. A lot of folks from Canada come down here to Naples for the winter. And wherever she goes, she's a big star, but especially when the Canadians are about. And when she is in Canada, it's fantastic to see. Back to the 17th. Lindy Duncan had a bit of an issue here over on the left side. Took a few minutes to get the ruling. She's made par. Now Lexi has this for birdie.
Yeah, she really hasn't taken it for granted either. Typically when you see a putt roll past the hole, you pay really close attention to what it does and how it rolls. But as we've heard from Jerry and from other people, that sometimes that doesn't always make much of a difference on the putt coming back, particularly on these greens. So she had her green book out, she was paying attention to it, what she needed to do, so not taking anything for granted.
Excellent.
Back-to-back birdies, and Lexi Thompson is tied for the lead here at the CME Group Tour Championship. Now make the short walk across the road to the 18th tee, and we'll go back to the fairway where Amy Olsen is ready to play her second.
215 yards all the way back to that flag stick that looks like it's not even on the green. 5 wood, 184 to the front. Ideal line is just a little left of the camera tower from here, heart of the green. That's at the left front portion. Needs to sit on that line.
Just took that soft bounce, hitting the fringe grass short and stopped it up. If it'd gone a little bit further, it could have run down into the swale on the left, and we talk about that. It's pretty pronounced. Although with the flag over on the other side of the green, it's not as difficult as it could be if the flag was on the left. Now Nasa.
And when you do land short of the green like that, you're so at the mercy of this very strong grain. That one was into the grain and stood it right up. In other cases, it'll just jump forward like it hits a path. That's a 4-iron for NASA, 208 back to the hole.
Oh, no, no, no. That is right by the face, I think. Well, she'll have her bunker skills tested. Somewhere near the shadow would be my guess. There it is. Now, Brittany.
Going with 5-iron down breeze, 204 to the hole. That's at the heart of the green, depending on how it reacts.
Oh, big first bounce. It pitched on the putting surface, Jerry. That is the difference between pitching on the fringe and pitching on the putting surface. It may have just clipped a little downslope, but it gives you an idea of how difficult it can be for these players to get the distance right with their approach shots, especially from long range.
On the tee at 18, Lexi Thompson.
And after a few claustrophobic driving holes, this one really does open up for the players. Lexi with a driver. And that was pummeled.
Boy, what a story this would be. I know it's early. I know it's the second round, but after what took place last year on this green at 18 on that final day and what all that she's been through, if she could actually win this final event.
So often for golfers, it's about overcoming. We'll get back to it.
Check out a refreshing round of the day presented by Sam Dessous. It is Lexi Thompson on the tee at the 8th, just getting things going.
Kind of a flattish little par 3. You just feel like you have an opportunity to get it close, and she sure did.
Made that one, and then the par 3 with the wind blowing here at 12.
Boy, this was a pretty shot that just turned right to left toward the hole.
Perfectly set up for her. So that to get it to 9 under. And had a great look at this, the line, the stroke at 16 for another birdie. Never left the cup. And looking to go back to back. The par 5 ran it by, had a lot of work left for birdie.
That was a gutsy 2-putt and a really fine stroke on the second putt.
To 11 under and sharing the lead. A refreshing round of the day presented by Sam Dessous. And she's playing 18, hit it all the way down there. Great opportunity to get a birdie, perhaps at a very difficult hole, but the most consecutive years with a victory. Christie went 7. Lorena Ochoa, the Hall of Famer, went 6. Yanni Sen and Lexi Thompson has gone 5 straight years. So a chance here comes down to the 32nd tournament of the year, and she's right there. Still alive. Up on the green, Christie Kerr, a long birdie putt.
She has such a great instinct on the greens. She reads greens really well. She's got a kind of a big swinging stroke that's different than most, but she has really been successful with the putter.
Nasa just going to go sideways out of the bunker here.
No other choice. No way to advance that toward the hole.
So that'll leave her a long putt for birdie.
Very full swing. Keep that blade wide open. Once again, you've got to have some speed to get the ball to go up that quickly. And about as full a swing as I've seen anybody take in a bunker shot, all the way to a full follow through.
This is where Brittany Lincecum's second shot finished up.
After a little bit of relief from the grandstand, this is just, I don't know how you play this shot. It's just way too tight a lie to try and loft something, and it would land on a downhill slope anyway.
So if I chipped it, I would chip it to here. I think even just do a pass now. You want to get a pass and have it in there. But if I putt it, I got to hit it pretty hard to get it up. This, right? Yes, you do. Either one, huh? Yes. It's completely your field. Whatever you can put it to, you got to just. I think I putt it. I like it. I actually really like that.
Missy's one of her best friends, and they have talked through golf shots for years.
We got to get it on. Yeah, it's left of this stuff. So where is that in relation to this dude? It's left of that? Yeah. I think you got so this part is really, really slow into the green.
Get back there in a moment. Christy Kerr to finish up here. Yeah, seen some comebacks here over the weekend. So, you know, Charlie Hall shot 12 under over the weekend to win it all a couple years ago. Who knows? 6 back right now.
Yep, exactly.
Back with Brittany at 17.
By using
Should be
the
pretty
putter.
slow though, huh?
By using the putter, she takes out the variable of that first landing with the chip shot dead into the green. This is going to be very slow, and it's going to just slide well right when it reaches the apex. And then it runs completely away from this point forward.
And it gets left, it can keep going for a long time.
And that is going to go all the way down to the bottom of the slope, similar to where we saw Ari Jutanagarn early in our coverage.
Might have been smart in hindsight to play a little bit away from the hole.
Problems for Brittany.
So here in the second round of the CME Group Tour Championship, you've got Americans dominating the top part of the leaderboard. Lexi Thompson, though, playing 18, and Brittany Lincecum in a whole lot of trouble at 17. So Lincecum's had the lead. She was threatening to run away a little bit here in the second round, but not so much now. Korda, Marina Alex, 67s. Christy Kerr just finished up. She's at 5 under. With all the golf left, 2 rounds, Ari Jutanagarn, who came in as number 1 in the race. She's 3 under, 8 back. You never know. Winner of the first major of the season, Pernilla Lindberg.
Second to the 9th. been a disappointing
It's going to
second half of the season for Pernilla. Disappointing result there, Judy.
Yeah, you bet. You know, since she won her major championship, I just think somehow you don't know how it works in this game, but people start trying too hard and they start expecting different things. She's clearly put too much pressure on herself since then.
This is Brittany Linscomb now with her 4th shot at 17.
Closing down a lofted wedge off a very tricky upgrade lie.
She's going to have that to save par coming off that 4 putt a couple of holes ago. So she's throwing a few shots away in the latter stages of the round. Let's go to 18.
Great opportunity for Lexi Thompson in her 2nd.
Yeah, after a massive 300-yard drive, this just 141 left. Little wind help. Right on line, guys.
That's how you stop it at 18. You hit a 300-yard drive and you have that iron in.
Boy, that's just exactly the way everybody would like to do it, but so many people don't have the talent to hit it that far or spin it like that.
Amy Olsen for an eagle at the 17th.
Yeah, so tough to judge the speed here. Uphill early, then downhill 2/3 of the way. The remaining 2/3.
So much speed at the end. Is it going to get there?
Well, that looked like she left it 10 feet short initially. Beautiful putt.
It's going to be a birdie, so that'll move her to 9 under. And at the moment, playing her way into the final group on Saturday. They're going to play 3s.
Chasing, and now leading, at least sharing the lead, is Lexi Thompson, and a chance to have it all by herself here after her next putt.
Now Brittany Linscomb to save par.
So very, very speedy from here.
And that's not in. Oh, she's having a shocker towards the end of the day. Double bogey at 15, and it's going to be at least a bogey at 17. A couple of holes that you would be expecting to birdie. And so Brittany is going to fall out of a tie for the lead with Lexi Thompson. And here is the bogey putt at the 17th. Not easy with that shadow moving around, but she makes it. 1 to play, a hole that she bogeyed yesterday. 18. It was her only bogey of the round. Well, maybe she can pick herself up and finish strong here at Tiburon. We did not see that coming with the way that she had been scoring over these 2 days.
Back to the final hole. Tee at 18. Amy Olsen Brittany Lincecum, Nasa Hataoka. I'm looking at the top 25 right now, Judy. The only player over par on today's round in that top 25 is Nasa Hataoka.
Well, the scores aren't as low, but there's still a bunch of good ones.
Yeah.
Good one there.
Yeah.
Plenty good enough anyway. She hit solidly. The fairway's a mile wide.
And it's a great line. When you're standing on the tee, if you hit it at the left-hand chimney, which is the shorter of the 3 chimneys, with a little bit of a draw, it's a good shot. You can take it a little tighter to the left side and shorten the hole.
Currently a share of 12th place.
They may not all be chimneys, but they all resemble chimneys.
We know what you meant.
Nice little tight baby draw, hit very solidly for Nasa. She hasn't really played poorly, just not finding her way to get it close to the hole and make any putts today, has Nasa.
Well, it's been some turnaround and not in the right direction for Brittany.
Left to right center, holding that line, low bullet.
Well done here, but had it to 13 under and is 3 over in the last 3 holes. That's way down there, though.
Yeah, he's been out here all week.
Last couple of groups finishing up, and Lexi Thompson, just like that, has the lead. It would be her first 36-hole lead or co-lead this season here in her 20th event. Converted 2 of the last 3 into victories, but getting ahead of ourselves. You look ahead to the weekend, Judy, and all those numbers right there certainly still in the mix, because we've seen it happen a couple of times. Ariya Jutanugarn in 2017 and Shen Chen Feng back in 2013 came from 7 back over the weekend to win.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things that can happen anyway in 2 rounds. But, you know, you might want to look at the fact that there was a 63 shot yesterday.
Yeah, that too.
If conditions get a little bit softer on the greens, that might be out there with so many people driving the ball really well and pretty generous fairways.
Mm-hmm. Charlie Hull, 2016, came from 5 back. She shot 12 under over the final 2 days to win it. So yes, if you're Lexi Thompson, you got a chance to get it to 12 under and finish up here perhaps after the great approach at 18, but it's a long way from closing the deal. Startling, though, what Lincecum has gone through in the last couple of holes. Over at 9.
Is Pernilla Lindberg for a par, and it is going to be a drop shot for Pernilla. And she's all the way back on 8 over par, which unfortunately is in last place. 75-77 will feel like a miscut, but there's still 2 days to bring it back.
You might wish there were.
Yeah. Last couple of rounds of the year.
Today's coverage is brought to you by CME Group, how the world advances. And by Volvic Vivid, the world's best-selling matte finish golf balls. Here at 18, Lexi Thompson, after the brilliant approach, a chance to finish up at 12 under. What a putt, what a day, Judy.
Yeah, pretty much 2 brilliant rounds.
What a finish. And the first time she'll have a 36-hole lead this season, trying to win for the first time, coming down to the last event. And well, forget those memories. There are no memories of the 18th hole, the last hole last year now.
No, and you know, somebody told me a long time ago, 1 win and they forget all the losses.
I'm not sure that's true, but believe that. So Lexi, who won the overall race last year, trying to win the tournament this time around. Time for our Kia shot of the day. Ariya Jutanugarn, number 1 on the list, coming in. This at 12, par 3.
You think we're showing you this because it went in the hole? Should have.
Well, yeah, you kind of fooled me. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought I saw this. It didn't go in.
Should have.
Kia shot of the day. Jutana Garn still in the thick of things. She hadn't played her best. Hadn't been quite as sharp here in this final event. But she does hold the lead. But it's now Brooke Henderson who's played better today and is right behind as we send it down. Lexi Thompson's with Lisa.
Yeah, Terry, you and Judy have been talking about it all day, how great the ball striking has been. But how about the putter? You look extremely confident, especially over those testers, and you've been playing musical chairs with the putter. How do you feel with the putter in hand?
Yeah, I definitely feel very comfortable with it. You know, it was tough. My last tournament I played was in Japan, and those greens were so fast and so undulated. So coming to these greens a little bit flatter, but I'm used to the speeds growing up on Bermuda grass, and they're rolling so well. So you just have to commit to your lines and just be comfortable with the speed.
I really watched you, especially on 18, the conversation that you and your brother were having. There seemed to be a back and forth, but he walked away, and it looked like he sort of gave you a confidence booster. What's that conversation like when you guys are out there talking?
Yeah, it's been great. He's so confident. Just before every shot, every putt, he's like, all right, just go ahead like you have been the last few days, put a good swing on it and pound it out there or hit it close. So he's so confident out there, and that's what I need.
They've talked a lot about the ups and downs for you this season. How much fun are you having so far through 2 rounds?
Yeah, I'm definitely having a lot of fun. It's nice to have my brother out here on the bag and just to have all my family and friends out here. This is one of my favorite weeks just because I can drive to it, but just to have everybody out here supporting me, it means the world to me. And play good or bad, I have my whole family and friends and fans behind me.
Yeah, a ton of fan support out here. Lexi, well played first 2 rounds. Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Lisa. So not going to get ahead of herself because look at the history here. The 36-hole leaders the last 5 years. That right side, there's not a winner there.
Yeah, you know, you set yourself up the very best way you can for a final round in a great big event, and she's certainly done that to this point.
Well, we've seen big comebacks over the weekend here. A couple of times, players coming from 7 back. So, but to this point, I mean, that is just brilliant play. Lincecum at 10 under her second.
That was a 9-iron, a hard 9-iron from 153.
Beauty. That'll help.
Thought Lexi's was the best at 18. That one just topped it. Trying to shake off the last 3 holes with a birdie here at 18. Lincecum with a chance to get within 1. She makes that putt. Amy Olsen hanging in there, even par today. So even though no magic in that putter for Olsen, she is just 3 back. And final group coming up to the final green. One person who's lost so much ground today is Nasa Hataoka. And if you're Amy Olsen, you kind of put it all in perspective. You go, okay, I didn't make a putt today. You made nothing, and yet you look up, you're within 3 to start the weekend.
Well, absolutely. That 63 gave her a little bit of cushion. And she got to feel pretty good about how she's playing. And you have a day on the greens periodically when you're really not doing that much wrong, but either you're just off in your read or you're just off in your speed, but you come away empty one day.
You know, you're talking about pressure. And maybe you start to see it with Nasa Hataoka because you come to this final event, you're in the top 5. You know if you win, you end up with, this is the 2nd straight hole. She has had some kind of predicament in the bunker. And where do you go from here?
She's looking left, and that's, well, that's not optimum. That's water.
No, yeah.
Does she just maybe take it a little bit to the right and do everything she can just to get it up as fast and hard as she can?
The one thing you risk in doing that is hitting as hard as you can and then ricocheting it off that face hard. And it is a synthetic face, so it can act a little differently than grass and soil.
Looks like she's just trying to play it into the other part of the bunker, maybe.
And it looks like if she's going to do that, she needs to be careful where she walks.
Yeah. What a difference a day makes.
This is doable straightforward if it were not buried.
Okay. Far enough away from the face. It's a situation you just don't ever find yourself in except over in links golf.
Well, I find it very interesting that it happens so often in these bunkers, that the ball gets all the way up to the face.
That was well played after taking no time to get ready to hit it.
Yeah, good shot. But the revetted faces in the bunkers, whether it's on links golf in another country or whether it's here, it usually makes you take some kind of medicine.
Yep.
You can't just be a good bunker player.
Mm-hmm. You got to fight that feeling if you're her, though, because you do come in the top 5. You got that $1 million hanging out there, and you played well, and now it's slipping away on day 2.
Well, she will not be pleased with herself or with this round of golf, but the best she can do now is move forward. You see the hat on Amy Olsen, the Golf for Africa, F-O-R-E, and that is Betsy King's charity. Amy Olsen is very close to that. She gives a percentage of her winnings every single week to Golf for Africa. And I know that Betsy King and Amy and different people who work so hard for that have brand new initiatives coming up for 2019.
And Betsy's been out here following her today.
And has been watching that all day.
Yeah, not a single putt of any length today after making everything yesterday.
Yeah.
And she didn't hit a bad putt amongst them.
Oh, she was around the hole all day. It just couldn't get one to go. Even par 72, and he's up right where she started, and all alone in 3rd.
I may have my numbers confused. Betsy King was 6 years or 8 years before she won for the first time, and of course she's a magnificent Hall of Famer, and so she has given Amy some encouragement that if you don't just win, right off the bat, that doesn't mean you're not going to.
Bogey putt now for Nasa. And it is the end of a difficult day. 4 over, and you can't find anyone anywhere near her on the leaderboard that has been over par today. So looking for a positive end to what's been a tough stretch for Brittany Lincecum. Last 3 holes, she's given her lead away, headed to 13 under when she walked off the green at 14. Now 2 back, trying to finish up 1 back.
Yeah, I think this would change the whole feel of the round if she were to make it. That's further away now.
Not sure what to say.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, as a player, there's an element of embarrassment in something like that. We've all done it. Everybody's done it. But just absolutely hammering a 3.5, 4 footer like that, leaving yourself a lot of work remaining. A lot of work on which, Judy, as you know, that next putt is way tougher than it would have been otherwise.
Do you think, Jerry, that there's something in a player's mind that says to prove to myself that I'm confident, I have to putt this aggressively?
Yeah, she doesn't typically hit him that firmly from short range.
And now I really don't know what to say.
Yeah, she hit that one right off the heel of the putter, it looked like.
My gosh. No matter your attitude, there is no way to put a smile on that closing stretch. Speechless?
Speechless. I really feel for her. She played a lot of good holes over these first 2 days, but 3 really horrifically bad holes are going to be what she remembers.
She had 11 putts in her final 4 holes. And the trouble at 17, where she wasn't using a putter at some point, but forget about that stretch. So Brittany Lincecum ends up 9 under, and she had it to 13 under par. It's Lexi Thompson with the lead, up by 3 at 12 under par, looking for her first win of the season. Got Golf Central coming your way next. Tomorrow we come your way at 4:30 Eastern on Golf Channel for the 3rd round of this CME Group Tour Championship. So, boy, that was an interesting last half hour. We'll see what the weekend brings. See you in Naples once again, everybody.
A head case.
I know.
And they're going to make me a head case.
This is weird how it's over and it's not over.
Yeah, I'm just talking, but I'm a little confused. What the hell you're doing?
You can do it now, later. You want to wait?
Jesus Christ! I'm supposed to meet those people at 4:30. Oh, I'm gonna be late there. Hey, can we rush through the stuff after? Thank God. Okay.